Hi friends, I have another craft for you today. Today we are going to make a yarn bird. Bird out of yarn. Isn't that cute? So cute. All you need is some scrap yarn, 3 colors. Something like yellow paper for the nose. This is just a cone made out of yellow paper, a little post-it note actually. These eyes are made out of sequins, but you can make them out of beads if you have beads, or felt, or paper again, whatever you want to make. And then that's it. Isn't it cute? There's a little piece of paper inside, scrap paper scrunched up to give it some poof. And I used the glue gun to glue on the eyes and the nose. So you can use your glue gun, or if you've got Elmer's glue or something and just wait for it to dry, that's fine too. So let's get started. All right, so we've got 3 colors. We're going to match this one, and its back is made out of red. So I just got some red here, and I made little pieces out of cardboard here. Hold on. I'm missing one. Picked up the wrong one. Here we go. So they're 2 different sizes. I made extras, but they're 2 different sizes. There's a little pattern I can send you. Just write it down. So the back and the body of the bird is like 2.5 by 4 3/4. So the main point is this part right here. We're going to be wrapping the yarn. So if you can make this, like for this size bird, you can make it any size you want. For this size bird, that's 3 3/4 tall. And then this is the wings, and it's 3.5 tall. I mean 4 3/4. I don't know what I'm talking about. 4 3/4, 3.5. So if you want to write that down, this is easy peasy. You can wrap it around as many times as you want. I'm going to do 20. See, just like that. Take my scissors, snip it off. I've started at the bottom and I've ended at the bottom. So I'm just going to snip right at the bottom of my cardboard. And there's my first color. Then that's going to be my back of my bird. Then I need some white. And I need the same little scrap of cardboard for that. And I'm going to do the same number, 20. And I just like things consistent. So I did the same thing. I started my wrapping at the bottom. I ended it at the bottom, so that all I have to do is trim it off, and they're the same size. So that's my body. Red is the back, white's the body. I'm going to get some brown, and that's going to be the wings. So I am going to double that. Double the amount of times going around for my body and the back. So I'm going to go 40 times because I did 20 for those. I'm going to do 40. Same thing, started at the bottom, ending at the bottom, cutting at the bottom. There we go. All right, so then we do need a spare piece, 2 of these, 2 brown to tie off, 1 red, 1 white. It could be one of your strings that you've already just cut, or just get an extra one. Just like that. All right, so first we're going to do the head and the body. So you take This is the head and the back is my red. And the body. And you're going to lay them down and cross them over. One over the other. Just like this. You're making a cross. And then I am going to wrap the red around the white. See? And hold it really tight. I just wrapped it around, right? So then this is kind of dangling. Holding this tight. I'm going to tie right where my fingers are. So I just wrap around that extra scrap that we tied off, that we cut off so we could tie. And I'm just going to tie it tight. So you can do this with one person. You just have to hold tight and pull. Just like this. See? All right. So then definitely don't just do it once. So you can finagle it around, make sure it looks the way you want it to look, and make sure it's pretty even. We're going to cut the ends off anyway for the tail. So don't stress. Don't stress that every single strand is even because we're going to cut it off. But there you go. I've tied it on there really tight. And now I'm going to cut off my edges. My ends, Cut off my ends. We don't need that. So now, see? Now I've tied where I was holding. So now we have the white. Do the same thing for the white. Pull it tight, like this, and tie it off. Right up at the top with the red. So I'm going to loop around my extra piece of tie-off string. The same color as we're working with, right? So I'm going to tie off white with white. Tie off red with red. So I'm going to pull it really tight. Because that part also makes my head, right? So I'm going to tie it tight. Just like this. So I hope that makes sense. We're just crisscrossing them, making an X, and then we're folding over one color and tying it real close to the other, right? So say this is my red. We crisscross, fold over the red, and tie it with red real close to the white. Then the leftover white, we pull tight and we tie it close to the red. And then I'm going to cut off my strings that I used to tie. And this is what we end up with. So now, let's go ahead and tie my wings in the middle. That one's easier, right? Because we're not holding on to anything. We just lay it on the surface, on your working surface, and tie it together. And we're going to tie it right in the center as much as possible. But remember, don't stress because we're cutting off the ends for our tail. So it's okay. So I've got that tied in. So we're ready to work with it, right? So I'm going to trim off the edges of that. Now I've got two basically, right? These two are together and then these are my wings. I am going to go ahead and prep for my body. So I got 1/4 of a page of paper. This is just a regular sheet of paper. And cut it into 4. And I'm going to crumple it up. And that's going to be my body. So you don't want it, well, it's a rectangle, right? So it'll be, your goal is to have it more like an egg shape, not necessarily a symmetrical ball. So just kind of oblongy like this, just like the paper itself. Because the body, this is going to go inside the body of your bird. Give it a little bit of stability. And here is one little trick though. If there's an option to do paper clips as their feet. It might be easier if you had a styrofoam egg inside to do that. I am going to place these up on my mantle in amongst my flowers. And so they're just going to be sitting in there. I don't need feet for mine, but you could do that in a couple of different ways, but that's one option. If you have like styrofoam eggs, some people have different kind of styrofoam shaped stuff to craft with. So if you do, that might be an idea. All right, let me get my extra. Remember I cut 2 of these, 2 brown ones. So I need that extra one so I can cut the body. So my red is the head and the back, right? So I want it on top, and I'm just going to spin this around to where it makes like an L shape, right? So there's a right angle. And I'm hiding my strings. I'm hiding my strings on the underside because this is going to be my head. This is going to be my body. And I'm going to hide where I cut off my strings to tie it. I'm going to hide it on the inside so it's hiding within the bird. So we make a right angle or a L, and then this is where we're going to lay in our wings. So we're going to lay the wings right in the middle. And you want to hide that tie too. Make sure that's in and hidden, not exposed. So we're laying it like this. Then we're putting the body, our little egg shape inside here. And then we're folding all the colors over top of the paper, okay? So we just fold the top first, wings second, body last. So I'm going to do red. Fold that over, pull back my wings, and pull up my body, which is white. So you're just kind of pulling them together, sort of like making a ponytail. Can you sort of see a bird showing up? You're holding it with one hand, and you're pulling the yarn with your other hand just to make it look like a bird. Can you see it? You see that's the head? And you just mess with it a little bit. Pulling back so your body's pulled back. I don't have any paper showing that's inside. Make sure my wings are nice and straight back. You know, just hold it and pull it back a little bit. You're just pulling it back sort of like making a ponytail. Then you grab your brown string and you tie it back there towards the back. So it's going to tie behind where your paper ball is on the inside. It's going to tie before any of your short strings. So if you have any kind of short strings, you want to make sure that's on the other side of your tie. So just loop it through once. I like to tie it in the same color, just so it kind of hides that knot we're going to make. But you can finagle it once you put it on there. You can shift it down. They're all going to look different. Some of them are going to be fatter, some a little squattier. So, you know, they're all going to be similar but different. So you can have, you know, your whole bird family. See? So look how different my 2 are, and I did them exactly the same way. It's just the way it is, and it's awesome. So I tied this twice, and I tied it in the brown color so that we don't see it as readily. And that's how it looks. Isn't that cute? And then you just trim off the tail. So you take your scissors and trim it as close as you want. Whatever looks good to you. That looks good to me. And we're almost done. All right, now we need a nose. This is a little tricky, I think, because it's so tiny. But, you know, you can also use, if you wanted to, I've used before, not on this craft, but on a different craft, I've used like orange or yellow pipe cleaner. You could do that if that's easier. But we're just going to cut out a circle and make a cone out of that circle. So this is just a little Post-it note, and I am just cutting out a circle. And if you want the dimensions, I have a little template for you. So you can just message me, but you know, it's whatever you want to do. So to make a cone, we made a circle. We're going to cut it halfway up the circle and then just roll it on each other. To make a cone, we're just rolling it up. And then I am going to glue this last piece down. You make it as thick or whatever as you want. Cut off the extra if you don't want it. But I've got a little lip here. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on and secure it before I try to get it on my bird. So put a little bit of that on. Because otherwise mine's just going to come undone, I think. And now I have a cone for his nose. And I'm going to put it right where the red and the white meet. That's where his nose is going. So I am going to put the glue straight on the yarn head. And put my little nose on. I'm dipping the nose in the glue so that all of it's covered. The edge of the cone is covered, and then I'm just letting it set up a second. Got some extra glue on there. Hold still, nose. All right. Cute, huh? All right, now I am going to use sequins like I told you, and I'm going to put the eyes where the red and the white meet on the side. So I'm going to do the same thing I just did for the nose. And which way do I want to put my eyes? On this way, I put, you know how a sequence has a little curve? I'm going to put it this way so the eye is 3D on the way out from the body. I can pick this up. There we go. So I am going to put the glue on the bird itself, since sequence is so tiny. It's just begging to burn my fingers, isn't it? Then I'm just going to place the eye on top. I did not get burned. Hold it down there. So it'll glue. There's one. I'll do the same thing on this side. Put a little dab of glue. Just a little. Because it's a tiny sequence. Put my sequence on here. Let it set up. So my friend Jan showed this to me. Showed me this craft. And she was excited to make yarn birds. I had never heard of them before. And there it is. I'd never heard of them before, but they are a darling. And you can use any colors. Wouldn't a blue bird be really pretty? That'd be neat. Let me show you a trick though with the feet if you want to do the feet. So thank you, Jan, for showing me, because I wanted to show you guys as soon as I saw it. Here's one of these colored paper clips, the small ones. And so what I would do is pull it up like this and decide, you got one side bigger than the other. So you got to see which one fits better with your bird. Yellow ones would be awesome. I don't have yellow. I think the small one looks better. So I would just bend it up like this and spin this top part flat so it'll fit right up in the bird. See? And put one on the other side. And so with this paper one, if I were doing it, I would spread apart my yarn, glue this to the paper that's inside, blow it, wait until it's dry, and then cover it up. Because if we don't stabilize the feet, it's not going to hold the bird up. But if you were using styrofoam inside your body, you could hold the styrofoam and actually put the legs straight up into the styrofoam. So that would look good. You could also do that part while you are pulling your back and your wings and your belly together. While you're pulling it together, you could go ahead and put your feet in and secure it before you even tie off your tail. So those are options if you want to play with them. If you actually do that and you like the way it turned out, send me a picture. I'd love to see it. Let me see what it looks like. So now we have two. Yeah. Mommy and a daddy. Now we need some babies. See how fun that was? It really wasn't that difficult. It might take a little bit of practice to hold everything yourself and tie off, but it'll work. I promise it'll work. So that's it. That's it for today. Yarn birds. Who would have thought? Thanks for joining me. I hope you do your own, and we will see you next time. All right.